Hello. Getting set up here. Hi, Gabrielle is here. Early, I like it. Okay, so welcome everyone. I'm so excited to have everyone in here to kick off our 5-day training how to activate your visionary. I'm going to put in my headphones, I think, just to limit any of the background noise. Beautiful humans here. If you're here and watching, let me know where you're tuning in from. Welcome, everyone. Okay, getting everything set up. Okay. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Sometimes the live through Zoom on YouTube, I'm new to it, so I'm just figuring it out. And we have a few minutes till everyone gets going. I brought the world's largest selenite for us to keep the vibes light. Okay, so we're on YouTube and on here. Amazing. Hi, Erica. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. I'm so excited for this, guys. Now I'm like here and present with my headphones on and my cosmic businesswoman blazer. So I'm just feeling pumped up. Let me know where you guys are watching this from. Let me know how we're feeling. Gabrielle, much better now. Okay, good. Okay, good. When in doubt, I feel like it's just like wear pink, right? Oh my God, upstate New York, amazing. I love New York. I'm from NYC. Oh my God, we have people from all over. Okay, good. Okay, guys, amazing. Yeah, I bought this blazer right before everything went down with the quarantine, and it is giving me life. It is my sunshine. It is definitely making me activate my cosmic boss, plus this big ass selenite. I'm gonna move my little side table over so the selenite can be like envisioned here. Okay, good. Everyone get the glimpse of it. Amazing. Okay. I am pumped for this too, guys. Okay, good. Good. Oh, I love it. Denver, St. Louis, Alberta. Wow, this is wild. Global, worldwide community of cosmic bosses. Houston. It's just giving me life. I'm gonna have a little sip of water because like I'm excited. My mic is dropping out. Oh, I see why the table kicked it out. Thank you. The table kicked out my mic. Hi guys, I'm so happy. Thank you for being patient. I normally do this with Audrey, who's my business partner. And because of the self-isolation quarantine, I'm figuring all of the tech out on my own. Normally I'm just the, show up with the information and she helps me out. Okay, great. If we're using the right account, okay. Everyone, great. Beautiful, blazing blazer. You guys crack me up. All right, so I have my Virgo notes. I am going to be referencing them because I have so much I want to pack into this hour and I'm like buzzing. First of all, I have to just say, it feels so good to see so many of you in here and so many people who are feeling like this opportunity we're going through is a moment to rise and to step into our power, right? This is it. Like there's like obviously a lot happening out there and our hearts are with everyone who are on the front lines. And, we offer up our prayers and compassion and we want to show up and have reverence for what's happening. But we also know the biggest moments in history where there's like struggle or a breaking of an old system is where the next generation of real leaders can rise up. And to me, how we lead is usually through business. We can lead in our households, we can lead in our friend groups, absolutely. But here, we're in 2020, business is how the world works. And also, I think that conscious leaders deserve to live a life of financial freedom, of just abundance in all things they do, in alignment, to be co-creating with a authentic community, and to be co-creating with spirit, and to have to, like, you know, be able to break up with the old stories that things have to be a struggle. So part of the training today, we're going to get into all of that. But yeah, okay, it's 5 on the dot. I'm going to kick off my little spiel now. I'm like, just keep letting me know if you're joining late, letting me know where you're tuning in from. Okay, so I'm Maddie, for those of you who don't know me, and this is going to be for the next 5 days. We're going to be talking about like a training series that I'm going to do about how to tap into your power as a visionary. Oh my God, Belgium and Florida, amazing. So, you know, the power to be a visionary in our lives is not something that people teach us in school. It's not something that society even teaches us, you know, how to be. But I have, you know, I'm going to get to my story in a minute, but I have been in the business game for a while. I've been in the spirituality game for a while, and I always kept the two things very separate from each other. And I thought that there was just like, you have one or the other. You know, you're spiritual, but maybe you're have to live a really simple, lean life, hippy dippy, or you're in the business world and you're rocking black blazers and Ann Taylor, business casual, making the big bucks, having the, you know, financial security, but having a, like, you have to have a kind of joyless life. Obviously, that's all baloney. You are meant for so much more. And, you know, this is all a lead into the Cosmic Boss Group Mastermind coaching we're doing, but it's also a lead in that I just want to use my platform to talk about this more and to offer education and to offer insight for anyone who this resonates with. So for the next 5 days, we're going to do this training series. I'm going to highlight one aspect a day. This is going to be a live interactive one, and then I'm going to send out a video for days 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to meet back here day 5, check in, see how it went, do a live Q&A, maybe even some sharing of what came up during the process, and essentially just hold space for each other, because that's what we do. That's what the new paradigm is about, is holding space, collaborating, sisterhood, just like spirithood. We're all in this as spirits together. And we're going to also send out some homework, because I love that. I'm a Virgo, and I'm going to send you guys just something very simple, but a way to activate, integrate, and embody the things that we're going over at home. And it'll be fun. We can all be in this together. And it's going to be, I just hope, something that activates and stirs something up in you and helps you rise right now and help you raise in your frequency. Okay. So new paradigms are being birthed, and we need you in your visionary and your cosmic boss power more than ever. Oh yes, Heidi. Thank you for reminding me, Heidi. Like I said, I'm here without Audrey helping me. So I am going to, okay, closed captions. I'm putting it on. Heidi, thank you. Is that working at the closed captioning? Let's see. Use a third-party CC. Okay, copy the URL to your clipboard. Oh my God. Okay, I'm trying to figure this out. Heidi, I am going to definitely record this and try and upload it in something that can do the closed captioning for me. And then the next few videos we send out, I will absolutely get the closed captioning on before. And if you have any insight from me on that, I am super open and I would love to learn more. Okay, so allowing a participant to type. Okay, I don't know if I can type and while I do this. Okay, so we will get this in the replay. We will have on the controller, you will see a CC. Yeah, appear on the setting icons. Okay, I see this, guys. Thank you for bearing with me right now. I do want to get this closed captioning on because I feel like it's important. I see the thing that says CC closed caption. Okay, you can, for a meeting, click on settings and toggle closed captions on. This is where I sweat. is doing tech stuff on the spot, but I really want to figure this out for our crew and anyone who's hearing impaired. Okay. I am going, I see that on the bottom, on the bar. Is that what you're saying? Okay. I am just struggling right now. Okay. Okay, I'm going to text Audrey and see if she can, wherever your phone would be. Okay. Yeah, I have. Is that for the people you mean, or for me? Where my mic would be? Okay. Video settings, audio. Okay. I don't know if maybe my version is outdated, but I don't see the things that you speak of. Okay. Accessibility, closed captioning. Okay. Oh, okay. Always show meeting controls. Okay, I think I found it. I don't know. I think I found the part that you're talking about. Thank you for being so patient and walking me through this. Did that work now? I don't know. I can't. Okay. Maybe it's not when it's live. Okay. Thank you so much, Ashley and Olivia. Thank you guys so much for being so patient with me. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm definitely going to figure that out for the other videos. And then I'm going to work on uploading this live, the recording of it, and getting the closed captionings on when we send out the replay. Does that sound good to you guys? Ooh, thank you for bearing with me. I really wanted to make that work, but we'll have to just go with the flow here. Okay, so I guess this is probably a good chance to introduce myself, and talk about my story a little bit, because you're like, who is this girl in the pink blazer sweating because she can't figure out technology on the spot? Like I said, my name is Maddie Murphy. Currently, I am an astrologer, a spiritual healer mentor, and an empowerment coach. Thank you, Amalia. You're the best. I work definitely with a lot of women and a lot of femme identifying individuals, but I work with non-binary individuals. I work with men, but my work, for the past few years has been very, femme focused. Anyone who identifies in the feminine. And, I really like to help intuitive, conscious people to really get out of their own way, release their old stories, step into their greatness in their brands, in their businesses, in their bodies, in the bedroom, and in their lives. Because I'm like, really, we deserve full, rich, juicy lives. But part of that is unhooking, untethering from some of the stories, from some of the conditioning, from some of the programming. And like I said, nothing gets me off more than helping people take their power back in their business. Because to me, pleasure is power, but also financial freedom is freedom. If you are financially free and you are abundant, you can help others, you can create, legacy, you can create businesses of impact, and you can just live your life playing by your own rules. And that's what it's all about, right? Okay, so let me explain a little bit of the foundation of how I got here, so you understand what I'm going to tell you and why it's so important. And of course, I not only am like talking the talk here, but I have had to walk the walk. And what we're going to go over for this next little bit of time together has taken me many, many years to get to this point. So I'd like to kind of break it down for you. So I definitely grew up super spiritual, as I'm sure many, Susan, so good. So I'm sure, as many of you probably can identify with, growing up, I was super empathetic, super spiritual, connected to the lands, talked with fairies. I felt super connected to all things. And even as like a preteen teen, into all the witchy things. I spent all of my babysitting money at this store, The Essence in downtown Northport. It was where I grew up. It had all of like books about ritual and spell candles. And I always just felt connected into something deeper. I was raised raised very traditionally Christian, which I liked the certain acts of having a community. I loved like worship, dance. I loved all those aspects, but some of certain parts of Christianity, namely how there was no women in leadership in my church, really made me scratch my head even at an early age. But luckily I was raised by very revolutionary, very free-spirited parents who always encouraged me to think for myself and study things for myself. So all of that being said and done, I definitely kind of lost my spiritual way, especially in the terms of like I lost my way and just who I was. I think as I got to college, I felt like I had to be serious and like get my life together. And I went to this big school, University of Maryland, and everyone that I was friends with was like going to be an accountant or a lawyer or a doctor. And I was just like, oh, okay, like none of this spiritual stuff's really going to get me anywhere. And I don't want to be just like the kooky, weird girl, like crunchy girl forever. I guess I should buy myself some business casual and get a resume and get a 9 to 5. And I definitely did all of that. And then I felt like, I felt like I had no soul and I had no joy in life, and all the things that made me me were just kind of gone. And I like just didn't even recognize myself. It was really hard to get out of bed in the morning. I felt super overwhelmed. Yeah, definitely drop an emoji if you can, or if, me too, if you can relate to any of this feeling. Like, so again, like I'm from New York. So part of being in New York is like, you want to go out there and do something. And people in New York, it's the hub of finance and of business, power, money. So I was like, yeah, I want to go. I was working for a magazine. It was actually my dream job growing up. I was working at a magazine in Midtown. It was so, I was so Andy Anderson from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, except I wasn't. I was miserable. Like I was so miserable. The only thing that would like get me through is I actually was like, okay, if I save up enough money, I'm going to go and like, go on a big trip or something. So I was always looking forward to something, looking forward to the weekend, looking forward to going on the trips. So of course that led me to a super imbalanced life, because then when the weekend would come, I would blow off steam, partying or like trying to, find ways of feeling good in my body. But I was definitely, as they say, going about it in all the wrong ways. And then I had what I would consider my first like deep spiritual awakening in 2012. I think you can be spiritual as a child, but to be on a true spiritual path, you have to have probably some kind of come to Jesus, fall down on your knees, dark night of the soul moment. And we have empaths in a teaching hospital. Yes. So there's me. I had the spiritual awakening. I was about to be married to someone that I knew from college, and I was on this very traditional path, and everything about it just felt so suffocating, and I felt so stuck, but I didn't really know what I wanted. And I actually had worked a few different jobs, but nothing felt right to me. And I knew I wanted freedom. I knew I didn't want to work for someone. I knew I wanted to do something creative, and I knew I wanted to do something that helped people, but I could not find out what that looked like. There was no pattern. There was no like mold set out for me. There was no model. And right as I was about to, be married, about a few months out, my body just shut down. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, and I love to eat and I love to sleep, but I couldn't do any of that. So my first spiritual awakening was like my body telling me like, you are not in alignment right now. This does not feel good. And if you mind are going to overpower your spirit and your heart, then the body is going to shut down until you pay attention. We feel all of this, right? Emoji, goodness, same. Okay, good. Yep. So everything, health issues. Yeah. So we always first want to look down to our body first and paying attention to what our body's showing us. So that was my spiritual awakening 1. And you guys are hearing me say multiple spiritual awakenings because that's part of the path. It is not linear. And some of you drop a yay or an emoji if you relate to that. There's not one spiritual awakening you go through. Once you commit to this path, you go through many. So that was my first awakening. I called off my wedding. I listened to my intuition. It was the first time in my life. I was 27. It was the first time in my life that I really did something for me. that I went out against like the good girl mold. You know, I'm one of 4 girls. I'm the oldest of 4 girls. So I was always setting an example. I was always playing by the rules. And this was the first time that I was like, no, like not, and I couldn't even explain it. There wasn't a tangible reason. It was just a feeling. So I really had to place a very large, like, bet on myself in that moment. And it definitely paid off. But then, so then I, switched careers. I started working in like the health business. I got certified as a holistic health coach. I was working for juice businesses. And then I had an opportunity with a friend from high school who asked if I wanted to start a business with him. And I had been coaching him through some health and wellness things he was going through. And he's like, you know so much about this. Let's start a cold pressed juice business out in Montauk, New York, which is one of my favorite places on the planet. Super cosmic, connected to like land, water on all sides. It was like a Native American originally like settled there. It's like a very sacred place. And I always wanted to spend more time out there. So of course I jumped on that opportunity. And this is coming out of my Saturn return. So anyone, I see someone here is going through your Saturn return. Oh, Jupiter return. Ooh, okay. I went through that last year. We can chat lately. Jupiter returns are also something. So your Saturn return, what happens after your Saturn return is then you have about 3 years of like deep integration of the lessons you learned. And so my Saturn return was, I'm sure as no one is surprised to hear, during the time that I was going to get married. Then the next few years, I was integrating so much of what I learned from there. But I had to go through definitely another round of Earth School. And the second round of, starting this business was so empowering to me. I learned so much about myself and business strategy. And I started to realize like all the things that I always downplayed or diminished in my life, like my creativity, my ability to think of new ideas, my ability to market and brand, all these things I downplayed. I realized like, wow, like I really had a gift for this in this business. So that was amazing. So I had finally plugged into my purpose. It was like, I wanted to help people. I wanted to do it through business. It felt great. But then spiritual awakening number 2 happened. The being an entrepreneur, being a leader, doing anything where you're going against the grain, anything where you're creating and carving out a path for you that's not clearly like laid out, it is hard and it takes a lot of support, and you need to have your self-care, you need to have a certain amount of surrender, you need to have trust, and you need to rely on something bigger. So the second wave of my business is when I was having like nervous breakdowns. My boyfriend would be like, how is work today? How's everything going? And I would just start crying, and I felt so overwhelmed, and I had no boundaries with my work and my business partners, and have boundaries with my employees. And I was taking on way too much. And that was the second phase. I realized, okay, I had the strategy of business, but now I need to come and bring my spirituality into my business. It's not a separate thing. I was keeping it separate. And to be honest, I wasn't taking it seriously. I was looking at business as the most important thing, than making money, to showing up for my employees, for my clients. And so I was like, ooh, okay, light bulb went off. So I started incorporating more of my, spirituality, more of these principles into my business, which was great. But then the last part of like my journey was then, of course, my spiritual practices, my rituals, my goddess circles. Working with the moon brought me back into an alignment. But then I kept finding myself blocked, like financially, or I felt like I kept finding myself in the same patterns, or I kept feeling myself kind of pull back and constrict in fear in moments where I had big moments to expand. So then I realized I had to start working back on my mindset techniques. So my journey was like, okay, there's the strategy of business, which is important and huge and so fun to learn, carving out your niche, getting clear with your message. What are you offering to the world? What are your gifts and your superpowers? But then it was like, okay, now we have to learn how to incorporate spirituality into the business. It's not a separate thing. Someone interviewed me for an article, and it was called "When Did Work Get So Woo Woo?" And I wanted to be like, anything. So it's always been that way. Work's always been woo woo. Like, you gotta have it that way. And then, of course, getting our mind on board, working with our mindset mastery to lean into success, to expand. Is that better, guys? There's the headphones out. Can you hear me now? No? Okay. Is this too echoey? What's better, headphones or no? Headphones. All right. Okay. Rue, are you okay? Okay. So yeah, technology, I have not mastered technology, as FY. So part of the Cosmic Boss Mastermind is putting together all of this work, the strategy of business, the spirituality component, energy work, divine feminine energy, astrology, sound healing, even hypnosis, shamanic medicine, and then of course, working with our mindset, reprogramming those neural pathways and really getting our mind on board, because that's how we scale. That's how we get bigger, right? So that's a little bit. Thank you guys for listening to my story. I just wanted to hear, I feel like so many of you resonate with it. And I just like you to know, how I got here. And actually, I had a juice business. I had a coffee business. All these principles that I kind of brought together. We went viral with this drink, the unicorn latte I made. It was like all over the world. It was featured. We had so much fun with everything, but really women and other like femme identifying entrepreneurs kept coming to me and asking me for help. And a lot of them were also self-identified, witches, mystics, spiritual people. And they were like, how did you do this? How did you do this? And so I started this kind of as a side thing. And then it became like, Spirit's like, this is your thing. This is your calling, like step into it. And then I met Audrey and she helped me bring it. Yes, that was me. That's unicorn. Heidi, I'm going to type to Heidi. I'm just going to do this. Okay, do you guys bear with me for next videos, and we'll work on getting this video transcribed for you. Okay, I'm just typing this to Heidi because I don't want her to. Okay. Okay, great. So yeah, so that was me, some of my other businesses that were so much fun to create, but this is really my calling now, is I want to help other people tap into this, into all of these. This is the magic. But the last component that I didn't bring up that I really was missing, we had strategy, spirituality, mindset, and then community. I think community is what we need in this next chapter, in this next age, this next era. Yes, I did sue Starbucks because I had Spirit told me to get that intellectual property. I got the trademark on that unicorn. And then Starbucks wanted that idea. That was all a karmic lesson I went through. I will tell you guys in another, maybe in the Cosmic Boss Mastermind, I'll walk you through that whole story. That all came to me through my astrology, through my spirit guides. That was a wild, wild experience. So, here we are. So, because I'm a Virgo, I really wanted to figure out, okay, how do I take everything that I've learned for the past few years and organize it? And so I started studying, the aspects of the divine feminine, the aspects of archetypal energy in our birth charts, in our astrology. And so we wanted to be like, I started looking at, and I realized that just like, in our chakras, just like working with our outer inner planets of astrology, there are systems, and there are systems of who we evolve into to become really what I call the cosmic boss. And that's someone who can manifest with ease. It's someone who's doing work for the highest good of the collective. It's someone who's plugging into their own intuition, trusting themselves, seeing the bigger picture. So we're going to go over all these archetypes like in the Cosmic Boss Mastermind. But for today, I wanted to teach you guys a little bit about the visionary. Visionary is the first step, okay? So visionary, if you guys have a thought about what visionary means to you, I'd love to hear it. But this really came through. I looked at the zodiac wheel, and we have, it's Aries season right now. And Aries season is about the initiator, the trailblazer, the visionary. And so with us plugging into that, the visionary is someone who can see the biggest picture, the bigger picture, who can rise above the noise, rise above the chaos, rise above the mainstream, what it's trying to feed you, rise above what's right in front of you here, and you see the bigger picture, okay? Yes, one who sees great things with clarity and endless possibility. Exactly. And to me, Aries, good. Okay. Kick down your energy in some way. Okay, we could talk about that too. Sometimes Aries season is like can hit us pretty hard. But to me, aligning with this energy of the visionary, it's the start of the zodiac new year. So this is the time to look at and be like, okay, what's the vision of my life? What's the vision for the next 12 months? And to me, I've always considered myself a visionary, but I didn't have the word for that. LOL. I more just felt like the weirdo because I would see everyone doing one way, going one way, everyone was zigging, and I wanted to zag. I saw, even from a young age, I would just things you think about. Like I'd be like, why do we have to work 9 to 5? Why does it have to be this way? Why, like the unicorn latte was an example of I wanted to make a healthy drink, but make it fun and make it playful and connect with your inner child and have a drink that the whole point of that drink was to decalcify our third eyes and our pineal glands, but I wanted to make it fun. And everyone's like, that makes no sense. And that's so weird. But then it kind of like took off. Like the visionary kind of sees like things that are bigger. And we have, obviously larger scale. We have visionaries in our society. We have people like Steve Jobs, and we have leaders, and we have visionaries can be any age. We have like Greta Thunberg, like seeing a vision for a planet that treats, our climate and our earth in a different way. So visionary is, I think, the first thing you want to tap into to be a cosmic boss, to have a business, to be a leader or have a business that's successful and that you can grow with grace and ease and expand in a way that feels aligned to you. You really have to plug into, okay, what is my vision? What's my vision here? What's my, let me get my steps here. Okay. If I'm a Virgo, I like steps. So to me, beginning to look at being the archetype of the visionary in our own life is like, what is my vision? First of all, like, do I have one? And sometimes if you were like me back in 2012, I didn't have a vision. I couldn't even imagine what I wanted my life to look like. I didn't even imagine that I had gifts or something to share. So the first thing I want to tell you is if you're watching this, you have a purpose, you have a vision, you have something to share with the world, and the world needs it right now. Okay. If you are breathing, if you have a pulse, you have a vision, you have a purpose. Okay. And I needed to hear that. The first thing is plugging into these questions. Why am I here? What is my heart's truth? What is my purpose? What is my heart here to share with the world? Not worried about like, how can I make money with it? Am I better than someone else? Do I have enough trainings and certifications to do it? Does, the world need this? Literally thinking about what is that little bit of sunshine and moonbeams and stardust that you were born with when you came from the heavens and the cosmos and the soul realm, and you were put on earth in this human body with something to share. What is it? And we are like, sometimes we get so caught up in the day-to-day, we get so caught up in stress, anxiety, in comparison, imposter syndrome, that we don't even think about like, what is my purpose? What is that thing that's just in me that comes easily to me? Okay. Definitely I have a hard time finding and pinpointing so many different things you love. Great. Okay. So I'm going to share an exercise at the end of this. That'll be our first challenge, our first homework to do on our own. That'll help you pinpoint some of that. And the second part of being a visionary, and these next parts are what we're just going to go over in the rest of the trainings this week. We're going to be talking about what is my story and being seen, because being a visionary isn't just about seeing the vision. It's about getting comfortable being seen, because you're not going to change the world. You're not going to build that empire. You're not going to write that book. You're not going to create the life of your dreams if you're scared of being seen. So we have to look at that. And then we're going to think about the third part of being a visionary is feeling. What do I feel is the right decision? Because part of being a visionary is you have to trust your vision and be able to make decisions confidently in that moment, every moment. Because if you're the only one seeing the vision, it's hard to look outside of yourself. It's hard to wait for someone to give you validation. You have something in your mind, And then you have to make all the little decisions and take all the little actions to bring it to earth. And I have had so many, ideas, so many business. I mean, this very thing we're doing right now, I was trying to explain this to someone like 5 years ago, what I wanted to do. And people would just stare at me blankly because they didn't have the vision, but I did. And that's okay. So we have to have confidence. We have to have the ability to feel into things. And then the other thing we have to have is like understanding the bigger picture. What's at stake? Who am I working with to do this? Who am I? Like, how can I get into the bigger picture? How can I embody the success that's in front of me, not where I'm at right now? Because if we're only tuning into where we're at right now, we're in the past. We're looking too much at our like past business. We have to see into the bigger picture of like, and really feel into that in our body and like make space for that. And that's also some mindset work. So it's like, ooh, okay, we're looking at seeing this bigger picture. And then the last step is thinking about like visionaries want to show up in service and how they can do that. Who am I helping? Who needs this information? And, how can I bring this to serve the larger collective? So, we're going to point over all of that. The why am I here? What's my story? Ready to be seen? Feeling into how to make the right decision for me. How do I see what's the bigger picture here? What's at stake? Where am I going? How do I see that? And really like get into that visualization manifestation state to be like expanding. And then also, who am I helping? How am I showing up to be of service? And so we're going to go through that for the next few days. And again, every archetype we go through, you're going to hear me talk about this week. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about business strategy, because part of the story and part of the being seen is figuring out, like, carving out your niche. Where are you going in the world? Who needs your story? How are you going to tell it? How can you be seen as your most authentic self? Because that is the first step of marketing, is like, people resonate with truth tellers. So we want to show up in our most authentic way. And also, truth just has a different vibration. Again, from the energetic spiritual component, truth hits differently. Truth, you feel truth, right? When you read something and someone's like in their truth, maybe they don't have the most glossy Instagram like designs, or they don't have like the fancy branding, but you read something and it just hits you. That's where we want to get. And that's what a true visionary, that's what they embody. And we're going to talk about definitely the spirituality of all this. We're going to talk about manifesting our vision. We're going to talk about also astrology. I'm going to share a PDF with you today that is like your superpower based on your sun sign. And of course, in the Cosmic Boss Mastermind, we're going to go into every aspect of your chart. You also get a one-on-one chart reading consultation with me, because every single aspect of your chart unlocks an opportunity or an obstacle to be aware of, to turn it into an opportunity. And it unlocks where your superpowers are in the intuitive realm, in the business realm, and your ability to manifest. And also it gives you guidance on how to truly like take care of yourself, because anything you're doing starts with you. So if you're not taking care of yourself, how can you grow from that space? We want to create big lives and have big, juicy checking accounts, but we also want to be able to enjoy our life and feel rested and feel clear and feel present for the people in our lives. Okay, great. Love it, love. Checking up on all this. Oh my God. Oh, this should be hitting different. Okay, literally, that is what I was thinking in my head, because I love TikTok and pop culture. So thank you for picking up what I am putting down with that. Oh, this should be hitting different. Thank you. I love when people are on my same wavelength. Okay. An issue I have is making time for myself when I work so much. Yes, that is a huge issue. I am a Virgo. When I work so much, because my work is my passion, I love it. A big thing we're going to talk about in the Cosmic Boss Mastermind is how to set boundaries and how to set self-care routines and rituals that work for you, not cookie cutter ones that you read about on like Mind Body Green or on Pinterest or Well and Good. Really things that work to support you, and how we can also do some mindset work around creating boundaries to be self-honoring with yourself. So Yeah, that's a big part. Okay. So, back to today's thing of the visionary. Obviously, this webinar was a big introduction to all of this, but we do want to think about visionary. Why? Who here? I guess drop an emoji if you feel a little bit unclear of what your purpose is, or how you can show up in the world with that. Like maybe you have a purpose, or it feels murky to you, or okay. Okay, great. Oh, emojis. I love it. Unclear. Okay, great. So that's the first step here, is we're just gonna, again, in this like free 5-day training, the first things first is we want to plug into purpose, because purpose is, it connects you back to your life force, okay? Being connected to your purpose is how you stay in alignment and how you stay in your own balance, in your own truth, because like, this is my purpose. This is what I came here to do. And therefore, I can trust in my purpose that I came here to do this. So I can surrender to a higher power, let it be even easier than I'm imagining. I cannot doubt myself with my purpose. I can just live it. I always say connecting to your purpose, especially through your birth chart, is a way to spend less time in self-doubt and just more time in like self-doing, doing the damn thing. So first, to connect into purpose, we want to, I'm going to give you guys, again, I'm going to send this all in the follow-up email with a recording, but we're going to do some journaling exercises to get into that. And I'm going to send you a PDF of the superpower that you have just based on your sun sign. And again, that's like a little teeny part of your chart, like this little big, but it'll at least give you a nibble, a breadcrumb. And I hope that it just serves as a reminder of some of the greatness that you have, okay? Some of that stardust, like I said, that's inside of you that wants to come out. So before I get into, what the practice is going to be, I do want to set a disclaimer for all of this. Are we ready? Okay. So part of being a cosmic boss and part of being the visionary archetype within the cosmic boss is I want you to invite in pleasure to what you're doing, okay? So much of what we're unhooking from the entrepreneur that is the ego-based entrepreneur or leader, creative. We're unhooking from that old sacred masculine way of being. Not sacred masculine, false masculine way of being, that patriarchal society where everything has to be done with pressure. Like, I'm not doing enough. I need to do more. I'm behind on schedule. Like this just thing, like whenever I operate out of pressure, I can feel myself imploding. And you know what? It cuts off all of my flow, and it cuts off my intuition and my creativity. And it brings me into a small, clenched up little ball of like ickiness. So I just want the first thing that when you get this homework from me, when you watch these trainings, when you do this, I want you to take a deep breath, breathe in, like move your body so it feels juicy. We're making space for the new you you're becoming, exhaling. And I just want you to say, like, I allow this to be fun. I allow this to be pleasurable. And just setting that intention and having that awareness, it's a shift. It's a huge shift in your consciousness, okay? Because one thing you're going to hear me say over and over again, and we're going to go over a lot in the Cosmic Boss Mastermind, is pleasure. To me, being in our pleasure is our power. It's how we connect into like that juicy flow state as humans. But we've been taught to be like really, really disconnected from our pleasure, especially femme identifying individuals, women. Like we're taught to be so disconnected. So you're going to hear me talk about like really this intersectionality of like strategy, mindset, spirituality, with a little dash of like pleasure and embodiment brought in there, because that is what I am here for. Okay. We want your best life, your brand, your business, but in the boardroom, but also the bedroom. Can I get an amen, honeys? Okay, good. So, I'm having so much fun. I'm going to have a sip of water because I'm getting, amen. Bless up. Oh, good. I love it. I love seeing everyone who's on board for pleasure. Pressure dries us out. Pressure makes us brittle. Pressure makes everything a competition. Like we're racing into some invisible finish line. And then we get there and it's like, WTF was I even rushing for? How many people have been there? Like you had a goal and you've pushed yourself and you've worked so hard, and then you get there and you're like, okay, like now what? That's why we want to invoke and embody pleasure, so we can enjoy the ride. We can enjoy it when we get there. We can enjoy it and make it more pleasurable for people around us. Tapping into my pleasure, it was definitely one of the biggest game changers in my business and in my work. As a business owner, as a coach, as an intuitive, pleasure opened up my intuition so much more. And also it's like, it's work, but it's also play. And when we can look at it like that, of like, I get to do this and I can feel pleasurable while I'm doing it, it just shifts things so much. And this is the new paradigm we're bringing in, right? That's why we're calling it the Cosmic Boss. And thank you all for being here, because I have wanted to bring all of these things together. When I was starting off and like needed guidance, I could only find people who are just doing business coaching or just doing mindset work or just doing spiritual mentoring. And all those things are beautiful, but I wanted it all in one spot. And yes, I also wanted to talk a little bit about sensuality and working with the goddess. So thank you for all being here and believing in this. I'm so excited. So let's get if you have pen and paper out, let's do some journaling right now. Let's put out I want to give you some things. And again, this will go out in the email, but sometimes it's fun to whip out the pen and paper on the spot. So like I said, we're going to go over for the rest of the week these other pillars, these other parts of being the visionary. And we're going to look at, I'm going to send out videos with captioning. Have Audrey help me do that. And we're going to talk about, what this element of being the visionary is, why it's important, also how we're probably or might be blocked on it, and how we can move through those blocks so we can embody it. And part of the embodying it is going to be the homework that I'm going to give you. So buckle up, buttercups. It's going to be a wild week. We're not coming out of it as the same. We're coming out of it like more like ourselves, more reconnected, more in remembrance of our true selves. So the first thing of the journaling thing I want you to write down, and you can just write down what I'm saying. You can start writing if you feel called, or this is going to be your homework. So the first thing is I want you to write down 3 things that you loved to do as a child. Rico, you're cracking me up. Pew, pew, pew. So 3 things that you loved to do as a child. Jam Aquarian, pen and paper ready. You guys are cracking me up. I need to read all of this. Okay, so that's the first thing. Then I want you to write down, what are 3 things that you always get compliments on? 3 things that you just, people compliment you. I know I want this like whole webinar, wherever we're on Zoom, like we all need to hang out and like be best friends, because you guys crack me up. So I want you to write down 3 things you love to do as a child, 3 things you get compliments on. Now, this is really important because part of your purpose is part of your gifts and your talents. And it's like being, when you're so close to something, when you're close to your own gifts, you can just forget, like you forget that they're there. And things that come easy to you, it's because they're your gifts. They don't come easy to everyone. Like I always loved writing in school, and I'd be hard on myself because maybe I wasn't as good in like calculus or something. And I'd just be like, everyone's good at writing, and it's like, no, like not everyone's good at writing, young Maddie. That's just your gift. That's why it comes easily to you. So what are 3 things that either come easily to you, or 3 things that people always compliment you on? And you can write both if you want, because I'm all about taking up space and bragging on ourselves, because we need more of that in the world. There's too much of the negative self-talk in our mind, which we're going to talk about tomorrow. But there's too much of the negative self-talk in the mind. So writing down 3 things that you're good at, or like that flow through you, or that you get compliments on. And then the last 3 things I want you to write down are going to be, what are the 3 things that you could get lost in doing forever? Like, no time. Again, back to the pleasure thing. Albert Einstein, who, if you guys watch my lives or know me, I'm always quoting Albie, because he is like OG, and he had so much more than just E=mc². He was like an enlightened ascended master on earth. And when he talked about the theory of relativity, he talked about pleasure and talked about like 2 minutes. Okay, I don't have the quote in front of me, I'm paraphrasing, but it's like 2 minutes with your hand on a hot stove feels like an eternity. the time moves slow. It's painful. But 2 minutes with, he said, a girl, 2 minutes with a girl or someone that you love, that you have a crush on, goes by like that. And like or said 2 hours, I think he said. So I'm sorry, I'm paraphrasing. That was not in my Virgo notes. That was just a download. But like this thing of like time is relative. When we're in our pleasure, when we're doing something that feels good. And the 3 things I want you to write down, they don't have to be anything productive. We're not doing that. That's not the cosmic boss way. That's not the visionary way. This does not have to be like skill sets. It could just be like reading a book. It could be, being outside in nature. Okay. Everything feels 2 minutes in a plank is the longest 2 minutes on the planet. Okay, guys. So I want you to think about, like, what are those 3 things you could do that you get lost in? When I first made my list doing all this and I envisioned my first purpose and career and someone led me through this exercise, my list was so all over the place. I was like, this is not a productive exercise for career building. My lists were like, I love being with dogs, and like, I like being at the beach, and I like being with my family, and like my strengths and things I liked as a child were like mixing up potions in my backyard and like having my friends over for like weird events and concerts I made and all this stuff. And essentially, I brought it all down. And it did make sense because my first business was in a juice shop, mixing up potions in my own stainless steel kitchen, working with all of my family. I hired all of my sisters to work with me in the beach town, like a block from the ocean. And dogs came in my shop all the time. And I got to host all these cool events. And so these things, they can seem random, but there's a gift in them. And then, of course, I've evolved since then. And some of this work, I've gotten even more fine-tuned with it. But like, this is it. There's little information coded in all those things you like to do as a child, things you can get lost in doing forever, things that, you always get compliments on. So I want you to write those down. And we're going to share a PDF that's also going to have your superpowers by your sun sign. Of course, if you're more like familiar with astrology, you can also look at that list for like your rising sign too. It's very much about like your superpowers. So how does this feel? I feel good. I feel like I just want to go out there and kick some ass with you all. So I'm so happy to have you on this journey. And definitely, I have my other notes. I forgot to say that if you do your homework and you want to like me to look at it, you can tag us on Instagram. You put it in your stories. And if you do the hashtag, this will all be in the email, hashtag I am a cosmic boss. We're also going to pick one person at the end of the training to get a goodie. I think it's going to be a free month to our like Moon Circle community and a one-on-one 30-minute call with me to talk about whatever, strategy, healing, reading, whatever you want. So definitely tag us in your homework, in your notes. And I know you're like, Maddie, you just told me to write down things I'm good at, and now you want me to post it on Instagram. Because I want you to be seen and I want you to take up space, okay? That's part of what we do here. We're creating space for a new potentiality, a new future. We're holding space for all of each other as you're doing so beautifully in the group chat, but we're also taking up space, right? We're like, this is who I am, and I'm not gonna play small anymore, and I'm not gonna dim my light, okay? That was gone. That was V last season, V 2019, okay? Okay, so it's even a theme of Aries. Exactly, you're paying attention. It's all in Aries alignment. So everything we do in the Cosmic Boss Mastermind, it's 6 months. It's a very intimate group coaching offering, and we're going to work through the astrological season to tap into strategy, mindset, spirituality, and community, building our brands, our businesses, scaling things out, learning these principles, focusing on the inner world and the outer world, the practical and the magic. That's what that's all about. If you're interested in that, definitely like shoot me an email after this. We do have limited spaces for that because I want it to be like you're getting intensive support. I needed that when I first started off, but I could not afford working with a business coach for like $2,000, $3,000 a month. So I wanted to create something that had a little bit of a more digestible price tag, but where you could still receive information, but also one-on-one support from me. Like, I'm feeling stuck on this. I need help designing this logo, writing this copy. How should I bring parts of my business online? What should I do with these difficult conversations in the workplace? And then also having like your community support and a group of like cheerleaders around you. So if you're interested in that, we're also doing like a promotion. Again, we're doing a promotion. Before April 2nd, you're getting 2 free one-on-one calls with me if you sign up before April 2nd. And then enrollment closes April 12th. So if you're interested, let me know. If you're just here for the free group training, I salute you. I'm so freaking happy to have you here. And this is going to be, I think, really valuable, potent information. And if you're new to all of this, or if you're like, I want to like work with you, or I want to take my whole life to the next level, but it's kind of scary and overwhelming and daunting, I've been there. Okay. It took me forever to invest in myself. It took me forever to like push past certain levels. But once I did, I was like, why did I wait so long? So take a deep breath. If it's overwhelming, and just shoot me a note, shoot me an email. We can chat, we can talk through things. So we're going to send out the homework, we're going to send out the links, and send out the schedule for the rest of the week. Okay. So I'm sending you all lots of love, and we will. How much does it cost? It's $555 per month. So we're gonna, send out all that info in an email. But really, I'm just happy to have you here. I'm happy to see visionaries and people who want to step up into the cosmic boss life. So you'll hear from me tomorrow. We'll send out a video, and you'll get those for the next 3 days, and then we'll meet up again live here on Tuesday. So sending you all lots of love. Thank you. Thank you. I can't wait to see your lists. I can't wait to hear from you. And I'll be checking in with you. Okay. Bye, everyone.